We're Texas CASA, and we're exploring issues in the foster care system that need fixing and proposing solutions. This is The Fix.
Well, my name is Susie Moseley, and I became involved with CASA about 26 years ago, so it's been a while. At a local program in Fort Bend County. I was a CASA volunteer and really believed in the cause and joined everything they had. Their auxiliary groups, the Friends Auxiliary, the Volunteer Council, fundraising. That program is affiliated with the Children's Advocacy Center, so I volunteered over there as well. And then was fortunate to join the staff in the CASA program a few years later, and then became the director of the agency. And really privileged to have that job and learn so much. And my final years there, I served on the Texas CASA board as a regional rep. They asked me to stay on as a community member, and so I think I was on the board about 11 years and served as president there as well. So now I'm privileged to be on the Emeritus Board. So I've been around for a while. The Emeritus Board is offered to board members who have served their time well and are interested and still want to be involved in some way. And so I can't remember how many of us there are, maybe 20 or so. And we're allowed to come to board meetings if we want, serve on committees if we want, to still stay involved. And Texas CASA does a great job of keeping this involved. My background is in journalism, and I worked for a couple of daily newspapers and wrote for some magazines. And it seems like I was more of a feature writer, and it seems like I ended up covering a lot of nonprofit profits, and a lot of them dealt with children. Also at that time, the early 70s, child abuse, of course, had been recognized, maybe for 100 years, but it became a national issue. That's when it became mandatory across the United States to report. So when we moved, I had lived in Oklahoma, and when we moved to Texas in Fort Bend County, I saw this article about the CASA program there. They were going to fundraise for a home tour. And when I read about it, I thought, oh, that's it. I mean, that is me. Because I had volunteered in the schools and, done all that. But this was meaty. This was, to me, so much more meaningful. So I went to the next training class, and here we are still today. Of course, I began giving when I joined the board. But while I keep giving, I'm just so impressed with what Texas CASA has been able to do and keeps doing. And I know with 74 programs out there, they provide so much support and aid to them that is really, really needed. And I've been able to see that, on all the levels. And so, I just think it's very important to keep striving to have all these kids have a personal advocate to get them through the system. So that's why I keep giving. I live in a neighborhood. It has a lot of young people, but it also has, includes a lot of people my age, and I see them being very charitable people. I mean, they take on all kinds of different causes, and which I think is great. And I just encourage everyone to become involved in some kind of charitable organization, whether you volunteer or donate or both. But I also think it's important if you're going to give that organization, to know that organization. And the more educated you become, the better advocate you are for whatever that cause is. Money is money, and that's great to have it. But the more you know, the better off you're going to, serve as an asset to that organization. I've been able to meet and work with both staff and on the board. I mean, everyone has such a wide and diverse background, and what they bring to the table is very interesting and stimulating, and I really enjoyed meeting with people. And also being able to view this process at another level. When I was in Fort Bend, great, as I mentioned, but you're just within your circle. And when you get on this board, you see all the good, bad, and challenges of 74 programs. My hope is that we all learn to put our discouragements aside, because there are many, and keep working hard. Despite what happens, you just have to keep your focus on the child and their families. The other thing is to try to break down some of the territorial issues and come together to do better. Don't just meet to meet, and set some real objectives and be courageous enough to get something done. I often picture kids just buried under piles of paperwork and policy manuals, and I just encourage people to cut through the clutter and get somewhere and make some progress, and then to reward your success and keep going, because that one child who comes out of the system safe, facing a positive future, can multiply into thousands.